Get out of my wedding! She screamed it in front of 200 guests. My name is Victor Davis. I'm 62 years old. And that was my son's bride, Natalie Shepard, pointing at me like I was a gatecrasher at her $130,000 wedding. The Glass House venue, downtown Seattle, rooftop ceremony with the city skyline framing everything. I just arrived at 4:20 p.m., khakis and navy polo, what I always wear. Natalie saw me across the cocktail area and lost it, right there, in front of tech investors, her team, her influencers filming everything. I told you not to come! You don't fit here! Jordan, my son, the groom, stood frozen at the altar setup. Didn't move, didn't speak. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. Because what Natalie didn't know, what nobody in that room knew, was that I wasn't crashing her success story. I built it. Every door she walked through, I opened it, and I was about to prove it. Let me back up. I worked for Washington state government for 38 years. Information technology. Servers, databases, infrastructure. Not glamorous, not the kind of work that makes headlines or gets you on podcasts, but I was good at it. More importantly, I knew people. Every agency director, every department head, every decision maker across 3 decades of public service. I met Grace in high school, married her at 23, had Jordan at 24. We chose stability over Silicon Valley dreams because someone had to keep the lights on. Grace was a guidance counselor. We lived simply, saved carefully, built a good life. Then in May 2016, Grace had a stroke. Sudden, massive. She was 53. 1 week after Jordan graduated from University of Washington. Grace left me journals, hundreds of pages. Her philosophy was simple. Help people win, but let them feel like they did it alone. She'd write, "Be the wind, not the wings. Let them fly and believe it was their own strength." After she died, I threw myself into Jordan's happiness. He was all I had left. In 2019, Jordan started dating Natalie. She was building a tech startup, healthcare data analytics, smart woman, ambitious, driven. At first, I thought she was just focused, career-minded, but then I started noticing things. Little comments. When I first met her at Jordan's apartment, she barely looked up from her phone. Asked what I did. I told her government IT. She said, "Oh, that's stable." The word hung there. Stable. Not impressive, not inspiring, just stable. Later she told Jordan, "Your dad seems sweet, but has he ever taken a risk?" Jordan laughed it off. Didn't defend me. At a family dinner in 2023, Natalie brought friends, introduced me. Jordan's dad, he's between things. I was still working, wasn't between anything. She talked about her self-made journey, emphasized it. No handouts, no connections. Just authentic relationships and relentless hustle. I mentioned my network could help. She cut me off. "I don't need legacy connections. I build authentic relationships." I went quiet. Grace's voice in my head. Let her fly. The podcast episode dropped 2 days before the wedding. Building Your Empire. Some entrepreneur show. I listened in my 2016 Honda CR-V parked outside Target. Natalie's voice through my speakers. Some people are thermostats, some are thermometers. My family sets the temperature. Jordan's family just exists in it. Then, I had to overcome limited mindsets in my fiancé's family. Good people, but they chose safety over significance. My hands shook on the steering wheel. Grace's bracelet sat in my glove compartment. Simple silver chain with a compass charm. Grace wore it every day. The inscription read, "Find your way." Gee, I'd planned to give it to Natalie at the wedding. Welcome her to the family. Instead, I drove home. Didn't call Jordan. Didn't say anything, but I decided. I was still going. The rehearsal dinner happened Friday night. Some waterfront restaurant. Natalie said immediate family only. Her parents came. Both siblings, grandmother, 2 aunts, 8 people from her side. Jordan texted me. "Sorry, Dad. Nat's stressed. Smaller is better." I ate a Subway sandwich alone in my living room, looked at Grace's photo on the mantel. "Is this what you meant?" I asked her picture. "Am I doing this wrong?" Saturday morning, I put on my nice clothes, navy polo shirt, Land's End, bought in 2019, khakis, brown leather belt Grace gave me in 1996, wire rim glasses on a chain, Timex watch, Grace's last gift before she died. I grabbed my leather folder, the one I keep in my car, worn brown leather, rubber band holding it shut, 47 printed pages inside, drove 35 minutes from my townhouse in Renton to downtown Seattle, parked 3 blocks away in a public garage, $28 for 4 hours. Avoided the valet. Just be there for Jordan, I told myself. Keep your head down. The elevator doors opened to string quartet music and champagne. And then Natalie saw me. Here's what Natalie didn't know. Every door she walked through, every investor she met, every client who said yes, every article that made her company legitimate. I opened those doors. November 2020. Natalie had a pitch deck for her first funding round. Healthcare data analytics. ClearPath Analytics, she called it. Good idea. Solid prototype. But 0 investors. 0 connections. She'd post on LinkedIn. Hustling to raise my seed round. If you know any angels, drop their info below. I called David Williams, former colleague from state government. We worked together from 2006 to 2014. He owed me. I'd saved a major IT contract when his infrastructure failed. David, I need a favor. Anything, Vic? Name it. I'm wiring you $50,000. I need you to invest it in a healthcare startup. Use your name. Silence on the line. Vic, is this? It's my son's girlfriend. She needs a break. I want her to feel confident. Don't tell her where the money came from. December 15th, 2020. I transferred $50,000 from my retirement savings to David's account. My bank statement, transfer to D. Williams, $50,000. Jordan's future. David invested under his name. December 20th. Natalie's Instagram post. First check. $50K from @DeWilliams Invest, who believes in real hustlers. Proof that authentic relationships win. I never said a word. That was the first door. January 2021. Natalie needed a technical co-founder. Posted everywhere. Seeking CTO for healthcare SaaS startup. Must be passionate about equity. Connor Hayes. I knew him from a state healthcare IT project in 2018. Brilliant developer. Burned out at Microsoft. Wanted meaningful work. Problem, Natalie couldn't reach him. Wrong networks. I paid Tech Recruit Partners $15,000 to discover Connor and recommend him to Natalie. Made it look organic. Like their algorithm found the perfect match. My credit card statement, March 2021. Tech Recruit Partners, $15,000. CTO placement fee. Connor and Natalie met. He loved the mission. Joined as CTO in March. She told Jordan, my networking finally paid off. Found the perfect CTO through this amazing headhunter firm. That was the second door. Then came the clients. ClearPath needed proof of concept. Needed revenue to show investors. May 2021. I emailed Dr. Patricia Moore, Chief Medical Officer at Northwest Health Systems. I'd helped their IT department for years. Subject line, Healthcare Analytics Solution you should see. Sent from my government email, v.davis@way.gov casual, friendly. Never mentioned it was Jordan's girlfriend's company. Patricia signed a $150,000 contract. August 2021. James Anderson at State Healthcare Authority. Same approach. $180,000. January 2023. Susan Taylor at Regional Medical Group. $90,000. Total. $420,000 in first-year revenue. All from my connections. Natalie's Series A pitch deck. Built to $420K year one revenue through authentic relationship building. My relationships, not hers. That was the third door. April 2022. Natalie needed press. Legitimacy. Madison Reeves. TechCrunch senior reporter. My college roommate from University of Washington. We graduated together in 1984. I called her. Madison, would you look at a company? Healthcare tech, woman founder, interesting story. Never mentioned it was Jordan's girlfriend. Madison wrote a major feature. Seattle startup ClearPath Analytics raises $2 million, tackles healthcare data chaos. That article changed everything. Natalie's company exploded. Her Instagram bio, as seen in TechCrunch. That was the fourth door. Between 2022 and 2023, state agencies needed HIPAA-compliant analytics platforms. I was still working then. Quietly recommended ClearPath in internal memos. Never signed the contracts myself. Always delegated. 3 state contracts, $290,000. Natalie's pitch to investors. Proven government contractor with $290K in public sector revenue. That was the fifth door. Total financial investment from my retirement, $73,200. Total contract value I helped secure, $710,000. I did it all quietly, anonymously, through proxies and casual emails. Because Grace's voice never left me. Be the wind, not the wings. I wanted Natalie to feel strong. To believe she earned it, but she didn't just ignore the wind. She spit on it. 4:15 p.m. I parked 3 blocks away. Level 3 of the public garage, corner spot. My CRV looked out of place next to BMWs and Teslas. I grabbed the leather folder, Grace's bracelet in my jacket pocket. The small velvet box pressed against my ribs. Security at the entrance checked my name. Victor Davis, father of groom. Yes, sir, go ahead up. The elevator opened to the rooftop. Glass walls everywhere. Seattle skyline perfect in golden hour light. String quartet playing, champagne trays floating through early guests. I saw Jordan near the altar talking to the officiant, started walking toward him. Then Natalie appeared. She'd been in the bridal prep area, a glass-walled suite overlooking the venue. She must have seen me through the window. She stormed out, white robe over her dress, bridesmaids trailing behind her with phones up, filming everything. Oh my God. Her voice carried across the rooftop. You came? I stopped. 40 guests turned to look. Natalie, I specifically told you. She couldn't even finish, just pointed at me. Get out! Tech investors mid-conversation froze. Influencers stopped filming their champagne glasses to film this instead. Get out of my wedding! Jordan dropped his boutonniere, just stood there. I kept my voice calm. Natalie, I'm Jordan's father. I'm here for him. You're here for free food and to embarrass me. I brought a gift. Grace's bracelet. I don't want heirlooms from people who never did anything. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jordan finally moved, walked toward us. Nat, are you defending this? She whirled on him. After what I told you? Jordan looked at me, then at her. Dad, maybe come back for the reception? My chest tightened. Jordan, I drove here. I'm your father. And I'm his future. Natalie's voice pitched higher. You're his past. I forced my voice steady. I've never asked you for anything. You never gave me anything either. I built my company myself. The word hung there. Myself. Natalie, don't. She stepped closer, close enough that 3 bridesmaids' phones caught every word. You want to know the truth? You're embarrassing. Your khakis, your car, your boring life. I will not let you drag down my day. Someone in the crowd whispered, Is she serious? Jordan stared at the ground. Dad, please, just not now. I looked at my son, really looked at him, waiting for him to say something. Anything. He didn't. Natalie turned to a tech investor nearby. I'm so sorry you have to witness this family drama. The investor shifted uncomfortably. Maybe we should... No, everyone should know. Natalie's voice carried. This is what I had to overcome. Limited. Thinking. She pointed at me again. This is a man who chose a pension over passion. Who played it safe while I risked everything. My hands shook. The leather folder started to slip. Natalie's eyes locked on it. What is that? Did you bring paperwork to my wedding? It's just some old... You know what? Fine, stay. Her voice dripped with contempt. But you sit in the back. You don't talk to anyone. You don't exist. She turned to the wedding planner hovering nearby. Remove him from all photos. All of them. The planner looked horrified. Ma'am, he's the father of the... He's a guest. Treat him like one. A random guest. Natalie spun on her heel, stormed back to the bridal suite. Her bridesmaids followed, phones still recording. Jordan hesitated. For 1 second I thought he might follow me. He followed her instead. I stood there. 50 guests staring. Some looked away. Some whispered. Some filmed on their phones. Sarah Wilson approached. The venue's sales manager. I recognized her face but couldn't place it. Mr. Davis, are you okay? I'm fine. My voice came out hoarse. I'm fine. I worked for you. State IT 2017. You helped me when my father was dying. Gave me 2 weeks off, paid, when we didn't have bereavement policy yet. Sarah. The memory clicked. Not now, please. A guest whispered to another. Did she just kick out the groom's father? Another voice. I heard she's ruthless, but... A tech investor muttered to his date, This is bad optics. Really bad. The string quartet awkwardly kept playing. A bartender caught my eye. Sir, can I get you something? Where's the bathroom? I walked past 70 guests, every eye on me, found the men's room, locked myself in a stall. 4:35 p.m. The ceremony started at 5. I looked at my leather folder. 47 pages. Every email, every receipt, every door I opened. Opened Grace's bracelet box. The compass charm caught the light. Let Jordan fly on his own wings, Grace had written, even if he doesn't know you're the wind. I stared at that compass. But Grace, I whispered, she's clipping mine. I splashed water on my face, looked in the mirror, made my decision. I walked back out. 4:40 p.m. I stood near the back of the venue, tried to be invisible. David Williams sat in row 5, VIP seating. I watched him pull out his phone, frown, check Instagram. His wife leaned over. "Everything okay?" David showed her something on his screen. Her face changed. She looked around the venue. Her eyes found me. David stood up, started walking toward the back. Connor Hayes stood with the groomsmen near the altar, Jordan's college friends in matching gray suits. Connor kept glancing toward the bridal suite, then at his phone, then toward me. He said something to the groomsman next to him. Derek Wilson. Jordan's best man. Derek's face went confused, then shocked. He pulled out his phone, started scrolling. Madison Reeves sat in row 11. She'd come as a +1 with some tech investor. I saw her look up when Natalie screamed earlier. Saw her mouth form my name. Now she was typing furiously on her phone. Paused. Looked around the venue like she was searching for someone. Her eyes found me. She stood. Started walking toward the back. At table 8, 3 people sat together. I recognized them. Dr. Patricia Moore, James Anderson, Susan Taylor. They were talking in low voices. Intense. Patricia had her phone out. She showed the screen to James. His eyebrows shot up. Susan leaned in. Said something. All 3 turned to look at me. Patricia stood. Then James. Then Susan. All 3 walking toward the back. Sarah Wilson stood at the venue operations desk near the entrance. She had her phone out. Texting someone. Then another person. Then another. I could see her screen from here. A group chat. Former state IT was the chat name. She was typing, "Vic Davis is here. Bride just publicly humiliated him." The responses flooded in. "Wait, our Vic? The legend? What happened?" Sarah's fingers flew. "Groom is his son. Bride doesn't seem to realize who he is." Another response. "Someone needs to tell her." Sarah looked up, caught my eye, nodded once, kept texting. Guests kept arriving. 4:50 p.m. now. The ceremony was 10 minutes away. Wedding planner with clipboard directing people to seats. "Mr. Davis, you're in. Row 18, seat 14. I'm the father of the groom." Her face fell. "Yes, sir, those are my instructions." Row 18, second to last row. I walked past 17 rows of guests. Some stared, some whispered. Some looked away like I was contagious. The seat next to me was empty. On my other side, someone's +1 I didn't know. From here, I could barely see the altar through the crowd. Front row, Natalie's parents, grandparents, siblings, 8 seats. Second row, aunts, uncles, cousins. Third row, college friends. Row 7, Jordan's friends. They kept glancing back at me. Confused whispers. One groomsman muttered to another, "Why is his dad in the back?" Natalie wanted it that way. 4:55 p.m. David Williams reached my row, leaned down, whispered, "Vic, we need to talk." "Not now, David." "Yes, now. She doesn't know, does she?" I didn't answer. "Vic, she just told Instagram you tried to bring old energy, and she set boundaries." "Let it go. The $50,000 came from your retirement. The company she's marrying into, you built it." People in nearby rows were listening now. "I did it for Jordan. And Jordan just let her put you in row 18. Silence. I stood, picked up my leather folder. "I'm leaving." David grabbed my arm. "Don't. Not yet." "Why not?" "Because truth matters. And I'm not the only one who knows." Connor Hayes walked down the aisle from the altar. Jordan called after him. "Connor, what?" Connor ignored him, walked straight toward me. Madison Reeves stood from row 11, started walking back. Dr. Patricia Moore stood from table 8. James Anderson stood. Susan Taylor stood. All moving toward row 18. All moving toward me. The wedding planner looked panicked. Everyone? The ceremony is about to..." But 7 people were standing now. 7 people walking, all converging on the back row, all converging on me. Natalie appeared at the bridal suite window, saw the movement. Her face went pale. The officiant cleared his throat. "Should we... wait?" Natalie's voice carried from the suite. "Keep going!" But it was too late. The truth was already walking down the aisle. 5 p.m. The string quartet shifted to processional music. Groomsmen walked down the aisle one by one. Connor Hayes' spot was empty. He stood at my row now. Jordan looked confused at the altar, kept glancing at Connor, at me, at the 7 people gathering around row 18. Bridesmaids walked next. White peonies. Perfect makeup. One of them was still filming on her phone. Instagram Live. The little viewer count said 12,000 people watching. Natalie's father walked her down the aisle. She looked radiant in that $12,000 Vera Wang dress, cathedral train flowing behind her, face glowing, smiling at guests. She passed row 18, didn't even glance at me. The 7 people standing around me, David, Connor, Madison, Patricia, James, Susan, Sarah, they all stared at her as she passed. Natalie reached the altar. Her father kissed her cheek, placed her hand in Jordan's. The officiant smiled, raised his hands. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Jordan's eyes kept drifting to the back, to the cluster of people around me. His face showed confusion, fear, something else I couldn't name. To celebrate the union of Natalie and Jordan, one of Natalie's bridesmaids was still holding her phone up, Instagram Live still running. 13,000 watching now. Comments flooding. Why are all those people standing in back? Wedding drama? Someone's getting exposed. Marriage is a sacred bond built on love, trust, and partnership. David Williams leaned down to me, whispered, Vic, before you go, did you ever tell Natalie about the 50,000? His voice wasn't as quiet as he thought. People in rows 16 and 17 turned. I shook my head. David straightened, looked at Connor, looked at Madison. Some unspoken communication passed between them. We honor the parents who brought these two to this moment. Natalie's parents, Catherine and Robert, please stand. Natalie's parents stood. Applause. And we remember Jordan's mother, Grace, who watches over us today. A moment of silence. The officiant didn't mention me. Per Natalie's instructions. 70 guests noticed. Uncomfortable shifting. Whispers. Jordan's college friend in row 7 whispered too loud, Did they forget his dad is here? Connor Hayes made a decision. He walked from the back row toward the altar. Every head turned. Jordan's eyes widened. Connor? Connor didn't stop until he stood at the front, turned to face the guests. I'm sorry to interrupt. His voice carried across the glass walls. But I need to say something. Everyone needs to hear this. Natalie's face went from confused to angry in 1 second. Connor, this is a private ceremony. My name is Connor Hayes. I'm the CTO of ClearPath Analytics. Natalie hired me in March 2021. Natalie forced a smile. Yes, Connor's amazing, but this isn't the time. How did you find me, Natalie? She blinked. What? For the CTO role. How did you find me? Through Tech Recruit partners. They recommended. Who paid Tech Recruit? $15,000 headhunter fee. The company paid it after. No. Connor pulled out his phone. Held it up. Someone paid it March 2021, before you hired me. The screen showed an email. Even from the back, I could see my name. Vic Davis paid it, from his personal credit card. Gasps from the guests. Connor's voice got stronger. He called me February 2021. Said a promising healthcare startup needed technical help. Made it sound casual. I didn't know you were Jordan's girlfriend until our 3rd meeting. Natalie's face went pale. Vic, you never told me. I stayed seated. Didn't move. David Williams walked down the aisle now. Stood next to Connor. I need to say something, too. Natalie tried to smile. Tried to regain control. David, thank you for coming, but in December 2020 I invested $50,000 in ClearPath Analytics. Yes, David believed in my vision. The money wasn't mine. It was Vic's. The venue went silent. Only whined through the glass walls. Victor Davis wired me $50,000 from his retirement account. Asked me to invest it under my name. Because, his exact words, I want her to feel like she earned it. David held up his phone. Bank transfer screenshot. Large enough for the front rows to see. Davis to Williams, December 15th, 2020. $50,000. Jordan's future. Natalie's hands shook. That's not... Vic, you never asked, my voice from the back. First time I'd spoken since sitting down. Madison Reeves walked down the aisle, stood next to David. I'm Madison Reeves, TechCrunch senior reporter. Natalie's desperation showed. Madison, yes, you covered ClearPath. April 2022, the article that put you on the map. Your PR team connected? Vic connected us. He's my college roommate from University of Washington. He called me in March 2022, said, would you look at a healthcare startup? I assumed it was random, never mentioned his son, never asked for anything. Madison held up her phone. Call log. Vic Davis, March 18th, 2022, 23 minutes. I write about tech for a living. In 15 years, Vic's never asked me to cover anything. He called in that favor for you. Natalie looked at Jordan. Jordan, tell them. Jordan couldn't speak, just stood there holding her hand, face white. Dr. Patricia Moore walked down the aisle. James Anderson beside her, Susan Taylor on her other side. I'm Dr. Patricia Moore, CMO of Northwest Health Systems. Natalie tried one more time. Patricia, thank you for... In May 2021, I got an email. Subject, Healthcare Analytics Solution You Should See, from a state government account. She held up her phone. From v.davis@wa.gov. Victor Davis introduced me to ClearPath. We signed a $150,000 contract. James stepped forward. James Anderson, State Healthcare Authority, August 2021. Vic sent me an email, $180,000. Susan Taylor, Regional Medical Group, January 2023. Vic introduced me, $90,000. Patricia, $420,000 in first-year revenue from Vic's connections. James, your series of pitch said you built $420K through authentic relationship building. Susan, that was Vic's relationships, not yours. Sarah Wilson walked down from the operations desk. Sarah Wilson, I managed this venue, but 2015 to 2020 I worked Washington State IT. She looked at the guests. Vic Davis was my supervisor, best boss I ever had. When my father died, he gave me 2 weeks bereavement leave paid when we had no policy. She held up printed emails. 2022 to 2023, state agencies awarded ClearPath $290,000 in contracts. Everyone went through Vic's department. Every recommendation came from him. 190 guests. Absolute silence. Natalie's Instagram Live. 16,000 viewers. Comments exploding. The truth was out. I stood up. Everyone turned to look at me. Row 18, seat 14. I walked down the aisle. Slowly. Leather folder in my hands. Past row 17. 16. 15. Jordan watched me come. His face showed everything. Shock. Confusion. Dawning horror. I reached the front. Stood next to the 7 people who'd just spoken. Looked at Natalie. I didn't keep these to hurt you. My voice was calm, steady. I keep everything. Grace used to laugh. Said I save parking stubs. I opened the leather folder. 47 pages. Printed emails, receipts, bank statements. I held them up one by one. December 2020. Bank transfer. $50,000 to David Williams for your angel round. Put the page down on the altar. Natalie stared at it. March 2021. Credit card receipt. $15,000 to tech recruit for Connor. Another page. Down on the altar. May 2021 to January 2023. 3 emails introducing clients. $420,000 in contracts. 3 more pages. Down. April 2022. Phone records. 23-minute call to Madison Reeves. Page down. 2020 to 2023. $8,200 in networking dinners. Taking your potential clients to lunch, dinner, coffee. Building relationships you walked into. Receipts down. A stack of them. 2022 to 2023. Internal state memos. Recommending ClearPath for government contracts. $290,000. Pages down. Total financial investment from my retirement. $73,200. Total contract value I helped secure. $710,000. Your company's current $8.2 million valuation? I looked at her. Built on relationships I spent 38 years earning. The wind moved through the glass walls. Only sound in the entire venue. I did it because I love Jordan, and I wanted you to feel strong. Grace's philosophy was be the wind, not the wings. Let people fly and believe it was their own strength. I pulled Grace's bracelet from my pocket, the small velvet box. But you didn't just ignore the wind, Natalie. I opened the box. The compass charm caught the golden hour light. You spit on it. Jordan's face crumpled. Dad, is this all true? Yes. Every client? The angel money? Connor? TechCrunch? Yes. Why didn't you tell me? My voice stayed steady. Because I wanted you to be proud of her. And I wanted her to be proud of herself. Natalie was crying now, mascara running, $12,000 dress shaking. I didn't know. You didn't ask. I turned to the guest. She didn't ask. 190 people, tech investors, influencers, Natalie's team, her family, Jordan's friends. All of them had just watched her self-made story collapse. Connor spoke. For the record, I quit. I don't work for people who don't know how to say thank you. He took off his boutonniere, handed it to Jordan, walked toward the elevator. David, I'm withdrawing my investment, effective immediately. I don't back people who treat their benefactors like trash. He followed Connor. Madison, Natalie, for the record, I'm writing about this, the real story of ClearPath Analytics. She walked. Dr. Moore. Our hospital is reassessing the ClearPath contract. Integrity matters. James. State Healthcare Authority is opening an inquiry. Susan. Regional Medical is canceling our renewal. All three walked. Sarah called from the operations desk. Ma'am, I need to inform you. This venue can no longer accommodate your event. Natalie whirled. What? Sarah walked down, stood with us. Vic Davis helped me when my father was dying. Gave me 2 weeks off paid when we had no policy. I will not host an event that humiliates him. You can't do this. We have a contract. Your contract requires respectful treatment of venue staff and associates. Vic qualifies as an associate. Sarah pulled out her radio. Security, please escort remaining guests to the elevator. Event is terminated. The bartenders stopped. String quartet stopped. Caterers started packing. Natalie turned to Jordan, voice desperate. Jordan, say something. Jordan stood at the altar, boutonniere still in his hand, looking at Grace's bracelet in my palm. He didn't say anything. The 6 groomsmen conferred in urgent whispers. One stepped forward. Jordan, man, I can't watch this. I'm out. He walked. The other 5 followed. Jordan stood alone at the altar. Guests started standing. Row 12, row 8, row 15, scattered throughout. Tech investors left first. Bad optics. Couldn't be associated with this. Then Natalie's own friends. Some of the bridesmaids looked conflicted. One approached her. Nat, did you really not know about any of it? Natalie sobbed. I built my company. I did the work. But someone opened the doors. The bridesmaid walked away. 5:28 p.m. 28 minutes after the ceremony was supposed to start. 140 of 190 guests had left. 50 remained. Mostly Natalie's immediate family. Confused. Angry. Natalie's father approached her. Natalie Marie, what have you done? Natalie collapsed onto the altar steps. $12,000 dress pooling around her. Mascara streaking. Sobbing. Her Instagram live was still running. The bridesmaid's phone still propped up. 19,000 viewers now. Comments flooded. Self-made =, he made you. Fraud. Pay him back the $73K. This is insane. Jordan finally moved. He walked down the aisle, past the wreckage, past his devastated bride, past the 50 remaining guests, walked toward the elevator. Natalie screamed after him, Jordan, where are you? He didn't answer. The elevator doors started closing. I stood there, leather folder in my hands, Grace's bracelet in my palm. Dad, wait! Jordan caught the doors, stepped inside. Dad, I didn't know about any of it. I know. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted you to love her freely, not out of obligation to me. Jordan's face crumpled. He started crying. I chose wrong. You can still choose right. The elevator doors closed. Behind us, through the glass walls, Natalie knelt alone on the rooftop. 50 guests staring. Officiant packing up. Wind moving through the empty venue. The self-made success story destroyed. The invisible architect, finally visible. The parking garage, level 3, 6:15 p.m. My 2016 Honda CR-V sat in the corner spot. 153,000 miles. Travel mug with the state's seal still in the cup holder. I wasn't alone. David Williams leaned against his car. Connor Hayes sat on a concrete barrier. Madison Reeves stood with her laptop bag. Dr. Patricia Moore, James Anderson, Susan Taylor, all there. Sarah Wilson had followed us down. 6 of Jordan's groomsmen stood awkwardly near the elevator. 11 people in a concrete parking garage, waiting for me. You didn't have to do that, I said. David straightened. Yes, we did. You've spent 38 years opening doors for people. Today we open one for you. Connor. I owe you my career, Vic. The least I can do is stand up when it counts. Madison. And I owe you a story. The real one. About the man who built careers from behind a government desk and never asked for credit. Dr. Moore stepped forward. Vic, I need to tell you something. 2019. My mother had cancer. Medical bills destroyed her credit. She qualified for a state medical debt forgiveness program. She pulled out her phone, showed me a document. My signature at the bottom. You signed off on her case, personally. $64,000 in debt, forgiven. She never knew your name. But I found the paperwork last year. My chest tightened. Patricia, You saved her. And you saved me from watching her drown. I never forgot. James. 2021. My brother needed disability accommodations at his state job. Forms kept getting rejected. Then suddenly they were approved. Found your name in the CC line of the approval email. You expedited it. Susan. My daughter applied for a state scholarship. 2018. The application was late. Shouldn't have been considered. but it was. Found out later you made a call to the committee. Sarah. My bereavement leave, my father's hospital bills, the extra days when my mom needed help. Every time I needed something, you found a way, never asked for anything back. One of the groomsmen, Derek Wilson, Jordan's best man, stepped forward. Mr. Davis, we've never met. But my sister was in a car accident in 2020, 34 years old, brain injury. She couldn't work, applied for state disability. He pulled out his phone. She got approved in 3 weeks, should have taken 6 months. Found emails later showing someone flagged it as priority. He showed me the screen, my name in the email chain. You saved my sister's life. She's a teacher now, because you moved her paperwork to the top of the pile. His voice cracked. I didn't know you were Jordan's dad until today. I'm sorry I stood at that altar while your son let his bride destroy you. The other 5 groomsmen nodded, faces showing shame and something else. Respect. I couldn't speak. The elevator dinged. Jordan stepped out of breath. He'd run from the venue. He saw the crowd around me, 11 people in a concrete garage, all standing with me. Dad, I'm coming with you. What about, I can't marry someone who treats you like that. Who treats anyone like that? I pulled out my keys, handed them to Jordan. You drive. We got in the CRV, Jordan behind the wheel, me in the passenger seat. David called through the window. Vic, lunch this week? I'm buying. I rolled down the window. I've got retirement savings I didn't spend. Laughter from the group. Real laughter. The kind that comes after a storm. Jordan started the engine. The CRV rumbled to life. 153,000 miles of loyal service. Connor walked up to my window. Vic, seriously, I need a new job. You know anyone hiring CTOs? I know 300 people hiring CTOs. Check your email tomorrow. Madison. I'm writing the story tonight. TechCrunch exclusive. You okay with that? Write the truth. That's all I ask. Dr. Moore. Our hospital wants to talk about hiring you as a consultant. We need someone who knows how to navigate state healthcare systems. I'm retired, Patricia. You're bored, I can tell. I smiled. First real smile in hours. Email me Monday. We started backing out. The group stood there, watching us leave. Jordan's hands shook on the wheel. Dad, I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything yet. I let her treat you like... He couldn't finish. You were in love. I understand. That's not an excuse. I heard her. All those times she said things about you, and I just let it happen. He turned onto the street. Seattle traffic thick with Saturday evening crowds. For 4 years, Dad. 4 years I slowly started agreeing with her. Dad's boring. Dad never took risks. Dad settled for safe. His voice broke. You took the biggest risk, your entire retirement, on my happiness. On yours and hers. Why? Because that's what fathers do. We drove in silence. Pike Street to I-5. Traffic crawling. Jordan's phone started buzzing. Texts flooding in. Calls. Instagram notifications. He glanced at it. Natalie's calling. You don't have to answer. I don't want to. He declined the call. Dad, where are we going? Renton, my place. You can stay in your old room. I need to get my stuff from the apartment. Tomorrow. Tonight we just breathe. More silence. The city lights reflected off the sound. Dad? Yeah? That bracelet. Grace's bracelet. What were you going to say when you gave it to Natalie? I pulled it from my pocket. The compass charm caught the street lights. I was going to say, welcome to the family. Grace wanted you to always find your way. Jordan pulled over, right there on the shoulder of I-5. Put the car in park. He took the bracelet, looked at the compass. Find your way, he read the inscription. I need to find mine, Dad. I'm so lost. I know. How do I fix this? One choice at a time, starting tonight. You chose to leave with me. That's a good start. He put the bracelet on his wrist. The silver chain looked right there, like Grace had meant for him to wear it all along. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you think Mom would be proud of me after what I let happen? I looked at my son, really looked at him, saw Grace in his eyes, her compassion, her struggle to find the right path. Your mother would be proud you're trying to find your way back. He nodded, put the car in drive. We merged back into traffic. My phone buzzed. Text from David. News vans showed up at the venue. Natalie's refusing to leave. It's a disaster. I didn't respond, just put my phone away. Jordan saw. You're not going to watch? No, I got what I needed. What's that? My dignity and my son. We drove home in comfortable silence. The city fading behind us. North toward Renton. toward my townhouse with its modest furniture and Grace's photos on the mantel, toward whatever came next, together. 6 months later, March 2025. I'm sitting in my home office, same townhouse in Renton, same modest furniture, same photos of Grace on the walls. But some things have changed. Monday after the wedding, Northwest Health Systems called Dr. Moore's offer was real. They wanted a consultant, someone who understood government healthcare systems, someone with relationships. $22,000 a year, part-time, enough to supplement my pension and rebuild the retirement savings I'd spent on Natalie. I took it. David Williams offered consulting work too, connecting startups to government contracts, legitimate connections, transparent. $23,000 annual. I took that too. Madison Reeves published her TechCrunch article 5 days after the wedding. She called me 3 times to verify every detail. I sent her copies of everything. Bank statements, emails, receipts. The headline, "The Invisible Architect, How One Father Built a Tech Company from Behind the Scenes and Got Kicked Out for It." Subtitle: Victor Davis spent $73,000 and 38 years of connections to launch his son's girlfriend's startup. She told the world she was self-made. Then she told him to leave her wedding. The article went viral. 2.3 million views in 48 hours. NPR called, Business Insider, Forbes, local Seattle news. Suddenly, everyone wanted to talk about invisible labor. Parents who funded their kids' ventures but got no credit. Mentors who opened doors but stayed in shadows. Support systems erased from success stories. LinkedIn exploded with #invisible architects, thousands of people sharing stories. My father funded my first business. I never credited him. My mentor opened every door. My boss took credit. This happened to me. I built someone's career and got nothing. The cultural moment lasted 3 weeks, then faded, as these things do. But the consequences for Natalie didn't fade. Week 1. Northwest Health Systems suspended their $150,000 contract, opened a review. State Healthcare Authority opened an inquiry into contract procurement practices. Regional Medical Group canceled their $90,000 renewal. Ethical concerns. David Williams formally demanded repayment of his $50,000 investment. Breach of trust. ClearPath lost $340,000 in active and pending contracts in 4 days. Connor Hayes resigned. No CTO meant platform development froze. Emergency board meeting. 3 of 5 board members called for Natalie to step down as CEO. She refused. "I built this company. I'm not leaving." 2 board members resigned in protest. Company valuation dropped from $8.2 million to $4.1 million. Series B funding round, scheduled for October, canceled by the lead investor. Tech Twitter was brutal. Self-made is a myth, especially when it's a lie. Instagram followers dropped. 68,000 to 43,000 in a week, then to 29,000. Every post flooded with comments. Pay Vic back. You owe him $73K. Fraud. 3 speaking engagements canceled. 2 podcast appearances pulled. Her self-made narrative became a cautionary tale. Week 2. Wedding vendor demands. $130,000 for a canceled event. Contract disputes. Lawyers. Venue gave a partial refund. $40,000 after negotiations. Lost deposits. $35,000. Catering, flowers, photography. The $12,000 Vera Wang dress. Never worn for a completed ceremony. Can't return wedding dresses. Jordan filed to postpone the marriage license. The ceremony never completed. They weren't legally married. He moved out of their apartment. Natalie couldn't afford the rent alone. Had to downsize. Month 6. Now. Today. ClearPath Analytics still exists. Barely. They downsized from 23 employees to 11. Revenue dropped 60%. Barely profitable. Natalie stepped down as CEO. The board forced her. She's head of product now. A demotion dressed up with a title. She moved to a smaller apartment. Stopped posting on Instagram. The account still exists. 22,000 followers remain. Diehards who either don't know the story or don't care. No contact between us. Jordan sees her occasionally, says she's working on herself. Whatever that means. Jordan asked me 2 weeks ago. She wants to know if you'd ever talk to her. Maybe someday, I told him. Not today. Jordan lives separately now. Small apartment in Capitol Hill. Working through things in therapy. Processing his complicity. He told his therapist, "I let her erase him. I helped her do it. We have dinner every week, sometimes twice, rebuilding what broke. He wears Grace's bracelet every day. The compass charm catches light when he moves his wrist. Last week he said, 'I don't know if I can forgive myself.'" Grace would say, "Start by trying." He's dating someone new, slowly, carefully, a teacher he met at a coffee shop. She asked about his family on their first date. He told her everything. The wedding, The collapse. The truth. She said, "Your dad sounds amazing." Jordan texted me after, "I think I found someone who gets it." As for me, I write sometimes. A business ethics textbook asked me to contribute a chapter. Invisible Contributions and the Ethics of Credit. I said yes. I have coffee with David, Connor, and Madison every other week. Real friendships, not just people I helped once. The State University asked me to speak on a panel, The Ethics of Success Stories. I accepted. Room full of business students. They asked good questions. How do you help without enabling? When is it okay to speak up? What if staying invisible means staying erased? I didn't have perfect answers, but I tried. One more thing. Madison's article led to a book agent contact. They want to write about invisible labor, all the people who build others' success and get nothing. I'm considering it. If it helps other people speak up, I told Jordan. Maybe Grace would want that. He said, "Dad, Mom wanted you happy. That's what she'd want." Maybe he's right. I look at Grace's photo on my desk. The one from 1995, her laughing, that bracelet on her wrist. I think I'm getting there. I tell her picture. The doorbell rings. Jordan for dinner. We're making her recipe tonight. Pot roast, comfort food. Coming, I call. I close my laptop. Stand up. Walk toward the door. Toward my son. Toward the future. Toward whatever comes next. The compass pointed me here. I think I found my way. So, that's my story. If you're still watching, thank you. Let me tell you what I learned. Grace told me, be the wind, not the wings. She meant help people fly, but don't take credit. Let them feel like they did it alone. I followed that perfectly. Too perfectly. Because here's what Grace didn't say. You can be the wind, but don't let anyone pretend the wind doesn't exist. There's a difference between humility and erasure. I didn't need a parade. Didn't need public credit. Didn't need my name on Natalie's pitch deck. But I needed basic respect, acknowledgement, gratitude. When you help someone, you're not demanding they worship you. You're asking them to say thank you. I couldn't have done this alone. That's not ego. That's honesty. And Natalie couldn't even give me that. So I left. Not with anger. With dignity. That's the new boundary. Would I still help Jordan's partner? Yes. I'm a father. That's what we do. But I'd tell them. I'd say, I'm connecting you to this person. I'm investing this money. I'm opening this door. Not for applause. For transparency. Because when you hide your help, you teach people they don't need it. And that's dangerous. Natalie genuinely believed she was self-made. Because I never told her otherwise. That's partially on me. Grace's philosophy was beautiful, but it left room for people to forget. I won't forget anymore. And I won't let others forget me either. If you're watching this and you've ever been the invisible architect, the person who opened doors, made calls, wrote checks, and got nothing back, this is for you. You're not imagining it. Your contributions were real. And you deserve to be acknowledged, not worshipped, not elevated, just seen. If someone you help treats you like I was treated, dismisses you, erases you, humiliates you, you have permission to walk away. You can still love them, still want their success. But you don't have to shrink yourself to make them feel big. Grace was right about being the wind. But remember, even the wind has a name. Hurricane, breeze, gust. You are not nothing. You are the force that moved everything. And that matters. Jordan still has Grace's bracelet. Wears it every day. The compass charm. Last week he asked me, Dad, do you think Mom would be proud of me after what I let happen? I said, your mother would be proud you're trying to find your way back. Because that's the thing about compasses. They don't judge where you've been. They just show you where north is. And for me, north is here. In this life I built. In these boundaries I'm finally setting. Grace would understand that. I think she'd even be proud. 6 months ago, I stood in row 18 of a $130,000 wedding. Invisible, dismissed, erased. Today, I sit in my townhouse. Consulting work I enjoy. Friendships that matter. A son who's finding his way. A story that helped other invisible people speak up. I didn't destroy Natalie. Her own choices did that. I didn't seek revenge. I just told the truth. And the truth did the rest. That's the power of walking away with dignity. Of setting boundaries without burning bridges. Of being the wind that finally says, I'm here, I matter, and I won't be invisible anymore. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Tell me, have you ever been the invisible architect in someone else's success? Or have you been on the other side? Realized someone helped you more than you knew? Either way, there's power in acknowledgement. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember, the people who build your foundation deserve more than your silence. They deserve your gratitude. Always. My name is Victor Davis. I'm 62 years old. I worked 38 years in government IT. I spent $73,000 building someone's company. She told me to get out of her wedding. So I did. But not alone. 7 people stood with me, validated my truth, walked out together. The self-made story collapsed. The invisible architect became visible. And I learned. You can be the wind, but never let anyone pretend the wind doesn't exist. Thank you for watching.